Guys, today we'll tell you how to properly build Emilie. Let's go. First, let me clear something up. Emilie is a character that needs burning applied on opponents to deal more raw damage herself. However, this doesn't mean that the burning damage specifically is particularly relevant. On the previous video made on her, several people were wondering why I was talking about Emilie's raw damage when she's on burning teams, so clearly she should be built with elemental mastery to increase the burning damage. You're wrong! The synergy between Emilie and burning is completely and solely based on her doing more raw damage, which scales off attack. Thanks to burning, she gets damage bonuses and also she gets to deal more hits, but nothing in her kit increases the burning damage itself. To make an example, she's very similar to Navia, because the latter needs crystallites to deal more damage, but she doesn't change how crystallite itself works. As a result, building her with elemental mastery is just detrimental and not ever worth it. To expand on this, she wants very typical offensive stats, so attack, dendro damage bonus, crit. Additionally, she will need some energy recharge in most of the teams where you put her in. In fact, while her burst cost is of just 50, which is not a lot, she would be used as the only dendro character on the team most of the time. Plus, she's the type of unit that stays off-field for most of the rotation, so her energy income is definitely not the best. In this situation, her energy requirements can be pretty high, potentially forcing you to use an energy recharge stance. Her requirements get much lower if you can add a second Dendron team, but I have to be honest, I haven't really been impressed by this eventuality so far. The reason kinda goes without saying, other Dendro characters in the game don't have the capability to deal high damage to opponents that are afflicted by burning like Emilie has. So in most cases, adding somebody like Nahida on team would have the sole function to support Emilie, which is not a great use case. Anyway, you can even think of using her burst every other rotation to nullify her energy requirements, but personally I don't like this alternative. Her burst not only deals a lot of damage, but it also summons the elemental skill lamp on field for the rest of the rotation. It's a 2-in-1 ability, and as far as I understand, if you use the burst you should never need to use the elemental skill in a rotation. Why couldn't AI be like this, bro? Anyway, just like the burst for the damage it deals and the quality of life it has. Artifact sets wise there are two options, the reverie set that increases the character damage if the opponent is burning applied on him, or the deep food set that will apply dendro resistance reduction to all the opponents Emilie will hit. This of course assumes that there is no character on the team that can hold the deep food in Emilie's stead. Typically it can go either way, but it's worth mentioning that deep food scales better with other stats than the reverie does. The reason is that resistance reduction becomes a more significant multiplier the more the other stats increase, but they stay pretty similar overall, so it depends on which set you have the better stats on. Still, there are plenty of non-dendro characters that can hold the deep food set for Emilie on her teams, like Zhongli, Thoma, even Xiangling in some cases. For deep food to take effect, it just requires the skill or burst to hit the opponent, it doesn't have to be a dendro character. So if you can give deep food to someone else, definitely go reverie on Emilie. Some people might think that Golden Troop does well too, with the assumption that Emilie is an elemental skill damage dealer, but this is not accurate. While she deals plenty of elemental skill damage, she also deals plenty of non-elemental skill damage, like the passive, the elemental burst, and this just lowers the value of the Golden Troop. It's just an alternative option, not really that great. So yeah, either deep food or reverie. Now let's talk about the weapons, but first let me remind you that if you enjoy my channel but you haven't subbed yet, please consider doing so because it really makes me notice your support, and also go check the Wuthering Waves channel. So weapons, her signature is amazing, just very good. It gives crit through the secondary stat, a lot of attack, damage bonuses and energy refunds. So it's not only the best option in terms of damage, but it also makes her very easy to build on most teams with the energy thing. Surprisingly, among forcers she doesn't exactly have many options because a lot of spears give elemental mastery, HP percent, so things she doesn't have much of a use for. The good old reliable deathmatch is decent, but honestly there is not much else. As a strictly free-to-play option, there is Missy Wind Spear, which was given back in the 3.1 event and gives a lot of attack, so it's nice, but still it's an event-locked weapon, so if you weren't playing back then, just go fuck yourself, I guess. However, Emilie is a sub-DPS and not a main DPS, so on most of her teams her damage contribution is not the highest, and her missing out on potentially 30% of damage is not the biggest of deals. So even if you don't have her signature, it's fine, and besides there are pretty good 5-star alternatives like Homa and Golfy Lightning, so if you have this, it's even more than fine. And with this, I'm done for today. If you enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe and also go check the color end guide I made a few days ago. Bye bye.